There's a lot of narration by Sister Jacqueline in this show, and you either love it or you hate it. When I'm watching the show, I love it. When I'm trying to make clips for a review, I hate it because it often gets in the way of the one I need. Every episode began with a quick recap about the convent and how topsy-turvy things got when Sister Bertrille came to town and started flying, and proceeds from there into today's story, thus.
But even with her feet on the ground, Sister Bertrille somehow manages to keep things up in the air. Take our bell, for instance. It had summoned us to prayers and served our order faithfully for almost 3 centuries. It was to be expected that one day the bell would show signs of giving up the ghost.
It's called metal fatigue, and it affects anything metal that has any kind of stress put on it. In the case of the bell, constant force from the clapper has distorted the metal and detuned it to the point where it sounds more like a form of torture than a call to prayer.
Don't worry, I can fix it.
Sister, Reverend Mother sent me to... Oh. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah. Clapper's loose, that's all. It's not striking hard enough.
She said the clapper isn't striking hard enough. I have doubts about her diagnosis.
Oh.
Sister, this bell's rust is rusting.
Well, we've been expecting a new one for some time now. 203 years, to be exact.
Don't you think someone ought to send a tracer through?
Well, we know what happened. This bell was never meant to be anything but temporary.
So why have they been waiting so long for the permanent one?
You see, on the convent's 50th anniversary, the Mother House had a beautiful new one forged for us in Belgium. But unfortunately, they shipped it to us on a frigate named the Hidalgo.
You mean the one that sank off the coast here?
Uh-huh.
There was no insurance, and the convent didn't have the money to commission another one, so here they are, still using the temporary replacement. Good thing Sister Bertrille knows how to squeeze a little more life out of it. Remember I said I had doubts about her idea that the clapper wasn't striking hard enough? Yeah, now I think it's striking too hard because that crack wasn't there when she was working on it. There's only one thing to do: go find their real bell. That requires money and a boat, and there's only one source of those things that she knows of, and she's not shy about her willingness to tap that source.
No, Carlos. It brings back such painful memories. Lord Cedric used to nibble my ankle.
Speaking of things Carlos wants to tap, that is Miss Binky Worsley, famous playgirl who lives for fun, excitement, and men. Give her half a chance and she'll rattle off a list that will curl your hair. Or make it turn brown again, or something. She's rich, hot, and on the make. And Carlos is only too happy to indulge her excesses.
Tell me, darling, do I have a chance to be first at anything?
Sweetie, can I help it if life is so deja vu?
If you find that incomprehensible, just wait.
I'm sorry, senor, but Sister Bertrille is here.
I didn't know you had a sister.
Yeah, she's also high society's #1 ditz.
Are you out of your mind?
Carlos, that bell was designed for our tower. We'll never have enough money to get another one.
Sister, there are miles and miles of water out there. The Hidalgo could have rotted away to Trinidad by now.
But there's supposed to be a map in the captain's house that tells exactly where the boat went down.
Captain Bruff has been dead for 200 years. The house is a ruin. And that story about the map is probably studied by the Chamber of Commerce.
He says the captain's house is a ruin, but later someone will say it's a tourist trap. I'm not sure how it's both, but Carlos and the Reverend Mother both agree that if the map were there, someone would have found it by now. He's not interested.
Sweetie, where's your sense of adventure? It's a treasure hunt. It's sheer camp. Sheer what? Camp. Zingy. Keeky poop. Oh.
All right, friends, right now I want you to lift your hands up to the sky
and praise God and say, thank you, Lord, the keeky poo never caught on. Carlos says, tomorrow we'll go to the captain's house and look for the map, and once we find it, I give you my word, I will not return to dry land until we have your bell.
Pedro, order some provisions for the boat.
The weekend special?
For two. And I want you to get a hold of an old map somewhere and take it out to the Captain Ruffy's house.
A map?
Then I want you to go and buy a bell.
Why doesn't he just do that? Tell her he'll buy the convent a new bell and he's all set for his adventure with Binky. But now Binky has her heart set on a treasure hunt.
Why don't we go out to the Captain's house tonight? Just the two of us.
Sister Bertrille expects to go with us.
We'll surprise Sister Bertrille. We'll find the map and surprise her with it. In fact, I would like to find the bell and surprise her with that too. The Captain's house is supposed to be haunted. Count?
A haunted house? Singing.
Keeky poo.
I get the feeling somebody invented these words especially for her. Our actress's name is Louise Sorel, and if you're a fan of soap operas, you might recognize her from several of them. She had a sort of less than stellar career until around 1986 when she started doing daytime drama. She has a flair for playing villains, and in daytime circles, that's what she's known for. She wasn't even close to that point at this time, but it's nice to know she eventually found her niche. And I hope this part was a lot of fun for her. I doubt being adored by Alejandro Rey was a huge chore. Reverend Mother is skeptical of the whole idea, but Sister Bertrille points out that nobody has really looked for the wreck of the Hidalgo, so maybe it's about time somebody did. Since Carlos is so willing to put up the money and equipment, there doesn't seem to be any good reason to say no.
Tomorrow morning we're going to the captain's house to look for the map.
I would rather that you did not.
Why?
Captain Brophy's house is a tourist attraction. I cannot have a member of this order scurrying about there in broad daylight looking for a map which probably doesn't exist. Go tonight.
That night we see Carlos and Binky slip into the house. Where should they start searching?
The bedroom.
Gee, I wonder why he wants to start there. The map is right where Pedro told him it would be.
What's this? Ridiculous.
Carlos shrugs it off. It's just the wind.
What is it?
Ghosts with funny hats. Carlos says, stop being ridiculous. There's no such things as ghosts. As far as Carlos is concerned, nuns are worse than ghosts because sometimes they come into your life and never leave. He looks again and there's nothing there, so they both must have imagined it. The sisters aren't imagining things, they're definitely hearing footsteps coming down the stairs. Sister Bertrille teaches children, so she knows one of the best ways to help alleviate fear: sing.
Hello, Captain Tanco. How are you today? Thank you, sir. I'm very well. Must be on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
That song is also on the album. Here's a little bit of it.
Hello, Captain Pumperdinkle, how are you today? Thank you, sir, I'm very well. I must be on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I really want to know how kids were supposed to relive things like this scene using that, especially considering how differently they end. The studio version ends like this.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
While in the episode, it ends like this.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Hello, Freddie. Spotted puppy, how are you today?
That's way more interesting. Once everyone gets their blood pressure under control, Carlos shows them the map. They can get underway in the morning. He and Binky will head out, find the bell, and bring it back. Just him and Binky. No nuns will be going along for the ride, right?
Can they work any faster?
They kill themselves now.
Senor, the Mother Superior is not going to let the sister go skin diving. What makes you so sure? The Mother Superior is only the head of the convent. What chance does she has against Sister Bertrille?
He wants to get underway as quickly as possible, just in case she does manage to talk her way into permission to go. If he's already gone, she's out of luck, right? He forgot that she has other ways to catch up with his boat, but she won't need them anyway.
I've never seen your boss in such a state. Who is the young lady who deserves all this?
Good morning. Good morning.
This time, he goes too far.
I have news for you, dude. The only too far he's interested in regarding her is getting her too far away. Too bad he's not very good at it.
I convinced the Reverend Mother would be okay. She said no scuba, but I could come along for the ride.
Keeky fool.
She makes that face a lot when she's talking to Carlos. Well, there's nothing for it. Let's go get that bell and get it over with.
Was it sweet, sweet, sweet of Carlos to arrange this little lark just to lift me out of my doldrums?
Oh, do you fall into the Doldrums office, Miss Wadsworth?
Well, after all, what does life boil down to but parties, parties, parties? Men, men, men. Go, go, go. G, G, G.
Don't you feel sorry for her? Sorry, sorry, sorry. Pedro set everything up. He bought the bell, did some weathering on it, planted some barnacles, and his map shows exactly where he placed it.
We will go down once and find the treasure. I will find the treasure. I am the hero of this trip. You have to use washable ink?
As I said, his map shows approximately where he placed it. Now we get to do it the hard way.
Do not worry, senor. I will find this spot again.
How? Are you going to recognize the waves?
We humans really love to measure, categorize, and pigeonhole things. We're most comfortable when everything has a name, measurement of some kind, and a way to divide it into bite-sized pieces. We've even done that with the planet. We dreamed up these things called coordinates with weird names like latitude and longitude, so a decent navigator would have written down the coordinates where he left the bell. Maybe Pedro was sick that day when they covered it in navigation school. We'll watch Carlos search several places without success. He's getting tired and you can't blame him.
Carlos, this is no fun at all.
You demanded a treasure hunt. You're looking at it. This is how your average treasure hunt goes. Lots of sitting and waiting, followed by sitting and waiting while you move to another spot to sit and wait. Glamorous and exciting, eh?
Sweetie, let's drop this nonsense. It's dull, dull, dull.
That may be. But we promise, Sister Bertrille, that we will find her bell.
Well, I'm bored, bored, bored.
Well, then fish, fish, fish. Like hook and marlin. Then get that dance.
You're not singing at all.
She can't comprehend a world where she's not the center of attention, and no matter how hot, rich, and easy she's reported to be, he's just about had it with her. He's way more devoted to the conquest than I could ever be, because I would have dumped her the first time she said keeky poo. At the next spot, Carlos will have Pedro suit up and help him search.
You found it?
Yes.
When this started, his goal was to find the phony bell, give it to her, and get rid of her so he can be alone with Binky. But as they've searched, he's getting way more into this and way less interested in getting into Binky. Sister Bertrille tosses him a rope, fastens it to a winch, and they'll raise the bell.
Oh, please, Binky! Give a hand to Sister Bertrille!
You and I are no longer speaking, Senor Ramirez.
You failed to serve my every whim, so you are not worthy of my attention, and I am not interested in your attention. I've done a little research into underwater archaeology because it's something I'd like to get in on someday. No way did Pedro make all that encrustation. Pedro even lets it slip that it didn't seem to weigh this much when he bought it. Fortunately, Sister Bertrille is too excited to follow up on that statement. So is this exciting enough for Binky?
Fight. At last, a challenge.
No, but maybe that is. That is a big marlin.
Help!
Oh, Binky, I'm busy! What is it now, Binky? Binky?
Okay, is drowning exciting enough for her? They can't spot her.
Poor Binky. She went bravely.
He says, I'll call the Coast Guard. Sister Bertrille says, shouldn't we start looking for her now? She's most likely right under the boat. But Sister Bertrille has a better way to look for her, from the air. I think we're supposed to believe that marlin dragged her out here into the middle of the ocean since she's still holding the fishing rod. Except she lost the fishing rod when she fell. You can bet that fish took off for parts unknown the instant it felt the resistance ease, and I really don't think she can swim as fast as a full-size marlin. On the other hand, the situation is delivering us some good gags, so let's just go with it.
This is very. It's a dream!
If it's a dream, it's the most lucid one you'll ever have. Binky is in the hospital recovering, and Carlos is all set to pick up where they left off, so to speak.
Oh, sweetie, I can't.
You can't?
No. The most extraordinary thing happened to me. Just before you saved me yesterday when I was drowning, I had this vision.
It's the same one Carlos thought he had, and she took it the same way. Time to mend her ways and turn her life around. Stop being selfish and make something of herself.
Sister Bertrille has arranged for me to go away to a retreat tomorrow to think things out. I'll be back in a few months, and I will be a new person.
You can't be a new person. He hasn't had a shot at the old one yet, and he won't get one. Yet again, Sister Bertrille has helped Carlos improve his morals, whether he wants to or not. At the convent, cleaning up the bell isn't going so well.
Pedro, I told you to clean it up. Senor, it would not clean. Oh, Pedro.
Excuse me, Senor Ramirez. I'm sure that he did the very best he could. After all, it has been under the water for a long time.
You're going to need some professionals to get that stuff off. And by the way, put your eyes back in your head. Now you know why it was so heavy. This has given Carlos an attack of conscience.
Sisters, I have a confession to make.
Yes, Senor?
I told Sister Bertrille that we would find the bell of Tanco. And we did.
Good move, Carlos. That other stuff doesn't matter now. You did a good thing regardless of the reasons. Considering her lifestyle, there's no telling what you would have caught from Binky anyway. We're only 4 episodes in, and we're already seeing serious character development. Reverend Mother is learning that Sister Bertrille's crazy ideas usually aren't all that crazy, and she always dreams them up to serve the convent, not for herself or anything else. Sister Bertrille is growing up a little, coming to understand that even brilliant ideas have to be tempered with wisdom and care, and she's slowly getting there. Carlos is amazed at how good he feels every time he does a good deed for the sister. He's not ready to give up his lifestyle, but he's learning that there are things in life that are at least as satisfying as serving your own pleasures, and doing things for someone else with no thought of reward or recompense can be a serious rush. Now, he can't grow too much or we lose the character, so writing Carlos is a tightrope act. Too much one way and he's not Carlos anymore. Too much the other way and he becomes a villain. So far, our writers are doing a very good job on that tightrope. The show ran for 3 seasons, so if they ever did fall off, they seem to have had a really good net under them so they could climb back up and try again. And now that I've beaten that metaphor into the ground, I'm Irving, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button to let me and YouTube know you want to see more. If you're not subscribed yet, punch me in the mask here and get signed up so you don't miss a thing, because something is always happening here at Irving Zoo. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. When I'm trying to make clips for a review, I hate it. Slow down. When I'm trying to make clips for a review. So why have they been... Sister Bertrille tosses him a rope, fastens it to a winch. Good grief.